proud about in July, I had a party that was $3,351.
One
Which is the
party.
biggest party. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, do you know how many orders?
Let's see. I can look really quickly.
That's amazing. I've never
Yeah,
had
she
a,
was an amazing host. She really, really was.
yeah, I haven't done that. I think I'm just right under 3,000 for my highest party. So that's huge. Oh,
It
love.
was, let's see. Where does it say amount of sales or how many orders?
Are you in the cart?
Oh, 29. 29.
29
Yeah.
orders gives you a 30. Did you say 3,500?
It was 33.89.
33.89. So yeah. So I mean I pick for 15 or 20 orders. I think I'm finding that 15 is what's comfortable and 20 is like a little stretch, like kind of worries people. But if you pick a number of orders, a goal for your host, you know, you'll come out with those big parties. So very, very good. Yeah, once they hit that, say shoot for 29. My last host got this much money and she got 29 orders. So, oh,
Right.
back up. So we're going to come back to Courtney, and she's just finished up our July Rockstar program. And we're just going to, Courtney, if you could just share with us when you started the program, what made you start, and where were you when you thought, I'm doing this month?
Okay, so I decided to do the July program. I had one recruit in June, and I had a good month. It was my first month as a consultant. And then last month, my goal was to get to team leader, and I did. And then Rocky was like, hey, I really think you could get to director if you want. I was like, okay. And I was a little hesitant. And then stuff just started happening. And I was like, wow, I'm really going to do this. And so I reached out to everyone that I could think of to ask them to join, to place orders, to get my people qualified. And at the end of the month, I just squeaked in and met my director requirements.
Yeah.
So even though like 4 days before I was like 2 people shy, and I was, you know, I didn't have any orders for any of my new recruits. I managed, you know, with the support of this team, with the support of Rocky and the other people who are on the same journey as I am, to find the energy and to find the will to just do it and get to where I wanted to be. Actually, where I didn't even dream that I would be by the end of July. So I want to tell all of you that you can definitely do this.
Yeah, it's never too late, right?
Exactly.
And
it's never too late. Even when it's the last 4 days of the month, you're like, that ain't gonna happen. It can happen.
Yeah, it really can. You just, sometimes when you just start putting your energy and your focus on things start happening. And that's exactly what happened to Courtney. We're like, no way, you know, just things like that, like true miracles, you know?
Yes.
So
Yes.
Never say never. And it isn't over until the first of the next month. And even then it's not over, because whatever hard work you put in is going to just kick you off. You're going to be just think, if it didn't come together, how close you would even be right now, right? It would probably be
right.
So thanks for sharing,
exactly.
Courtney. And let me get back to our program here. All right, so director requirements, these are really important. So if you have a pen and paper, write these down. You will want to keep them up on your computer, on your refrigerator, where you work. But the requirements, there's 3 requirements that have to happen all in 1 month. And the first one is that you have to have $750 in personal sales, okay, minimum. And from just hearing you guys, that's not going to be a problem. The second requirement is that you have to have at least 5 active team members. And at least one of these team members have to be recruited personally by you. But after that, anybody else on your team, starting with that recruit, can recruit to count as the 5. So you'll see here in this example, Tina recruited all 5. And in the second example, Tina recruited 4 and Chris recruited 1. And then in the third example, Tina recruited 3 and Pat and Les recruited 1. But you could do it if Tina recruited Chris and Chris recruited 4 more. That could be a team of 5. All right, so we'll talk about it as we get going, but just to know that it can come together really quickly with the help of your team. And active is at least $150. So let's say you guys have another month like July and you're submitting over $5,000, or even in James's case, 46, I forget what it was, the number 40, and everyone else submits 150, that meets the requirement, okay? Because if they all submit 150, and that's 5, you know, that is, let's see, 5, 950 right there, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 750. That's another 750 in sales just from them being active. So, and then when the total team submits the 5,000 minimum, that's your final requirement. So usually on Fridays, I'll post the stats where everybody's at, and I'll mark you off green if you've met one or more of the requirements when you meet them, so it'll help you keep track. But what I want you to do is create your own structure just like this. You can just rip out a paper of a spiral notebook and draw a circle at the top. Like in this case, it's Tina, but you're gonna put your name. And then you're gonna draw 5 circles. And as you add team members, you're gonna put team names in them. So at this point, if you do have a team member, Margaret, you could go ahead and put their names in here. And you're gonna post it. You're gonna think of some team names and you can cross them out as we go until one sounds good to you. And that's what you're gonna keep track with for your structure. So you can be as creative as you want. Mine are really bad. Mine are circle, 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 but we've seen some really creative people, you know, and do all kinds of fun things with it. So as a director, Pampered Chef spoils our directors with a lot of benefits. When you promote, Pampered Chef will send you a necklace. It's the director necklace. It'll have a ruby stone in it because the color for directors is red. James, you'll get a pen. You'll get all of the new products. So if you earn them in the free-for-all, you'll get another set. If you didn't earn them in the free-for-all, you will get 2 huge boxes of all the brand new fall products that are going to be available for customers in September. You'll also get a captain's hat from me. And when we started this year, we were going on a cruise. That was the incentive trip. And so we had this cruise theme going. Well, that is not happening anymore. We're not going on a cruise, but we are going to the Bahamas or Fort Lauderdale. And I just still think the captain's hat of you being the captain of your team and you leading your team and it's still kind of fun, you know, if you get down in the dumps, put your captain's hat on and get to work. You're going to get free leadership training from Pampered Chef, and you're not just going to be thrown into, okay, now what do I do with all these people that I'm trying to lead? You'll get leadership training from Pampered Chef that will give you, you know, leadership training plus all of what's happening in Pampered Chef firsthand, so that then you can carry that and tell your team. So you'll have information before anybody else in the company does. You're going to get recognition at national conference, and then 250 Pampered Chef dollars. You'll get $10 for every active team member, and you're going to get 3% more on your sales and your team's sales. So it is a nice chunk of change when you promote, and a lot of great perks. So which do you think you guys would enjoy the most? Oh, and everybody here, I think, is still in their first 90 days and your $500 fast track bonus too. So which do you think you'd enjoy most? You can type it in the chat too, so I can keep going. Just type in the chat, which of those perks do you think you'd enjoy most? All right, so we're gonna do this together, and to help you along the way, every Sunday, this is our first one, and for the next 3 Sundays, we will meet here for training on how to make your business stronger. So today we're talking about bookings. Next week, we're talking about host coaching. The third one, we'll talk about recruiting. And the last one we'll talk about is how to get your brand new team members off to a great start. And we will talk about recruiting along the way, because that is the one thing that you know, you definitely need right at the beginning. We need to start helping you add your team members. You're going to have 4 Tuesday check-in chats, and if you're some of you have chats with me, some of you have chats with Jennifer or Jen. Some of the other directors that are seasoned directors are doing their own chats. And so we will personally talk about what's going on in your business specifically. So there, you know, you get individualized attention. And then we're going to work towards 4 shows a week, and we're going to work on offering the business opportunity. Every Friday, we will have an opportunity event where you can invite people to join and learn more about Pampered Chef, and maybe even get be in a drawing for a free kit. All right. So mindset moments here. Every week we will have mindset moments, and because what happens up here is usually the first thing to being successful. So this is 5 ways to think as champions. Champions expect to win or succeed. So you can expect that right now. Just tell yourself, I am going to promote to a director. I am going to have a team of my own. And champions also celebrate small wins. So nothing's too small to celebrate. So it doesn't matter if you're getting, you have a booking, or you booked 4 shows, or you had a $5,000, whatever it is, be proud of what is going right. Champions don't make excuses when they don't win. So if you're not getting bookings, you know, you don't want to make any excuses. It's because, you know, it's taking too long for people to get stuff. That's why I'm not getting any bookings. It's because, you know, I have 10 kids. If I didn't have 10 kids, I could do this. You know, there's no excuses, because you'll notice that in Pampered Chef, there's people with 10 kids that are still booking shows, and there's a lot of us that everybody, you know, we're all having the same challenges with the products that are still booking shows. So don't make excuses for yourself. Champions focus on what they get, not what they have to do. So you be excited. I'm going to get that $500. Pampered Chef has set it aside for me, and I'm going to get it. And even though I have to make 10 contacts a day for this month, I know in the end it's going to be worth it. And last, champions believe that the best days are ahead of them. So if you have a crummy day, know that tomorrow's going to be better. If you have a crummy week, next week is going to be better. And if you have a crummy month, next month is going to be better. And if you're having a crummy year, next year is going to be better. All right, so let's see what else here. We're going to ask you to do some things that, you know, you've never done before. And I could get a lot of others that even myself, like, gosh, you know, no one grows up or learns in school how to run a direct sales business. There are things that you're going to learn, you're going to try, and you're going to get better with each time you do them. So, so we're going to talk about bookings right now, and I am going to, whoopsie daisy, get my cheat sheet. Oops, that's okay. You don't have to, I don't have to share my screen for this. But let me get my, or let me see if I can do this. Give me a second, guys. Oh, that's okay. Okay, found what I was looking for. Okay, so we're going to dive into bookings, and I will let you look at this while we're doing that. Oh, I guess I cannot do that. I wanted to keep this up while I looked at something else. Can you still see my screen? The booking screen where it says plan, decide?
Yes.
Okay. All right, all right,
Yes.
all right, all right. All right, so let's dive into the training that I have for you in our first Director Bound program, bookings, and how making getting a full calendar easier. There are a couple things that you must decide first. First, you need to, excuse me, there are a couple things that you must do first: decide and plan. So let's talk about deciding. You're gonna have to decide to have a full calendar. Not I'm trying, I hope, I wish, I might, or any of those other phrases that you fully haven't committed to yourself that you will have a full calendar. And this starts up here and right here. When do you know that you've truly made the decision? Well, the path is going to become very clear. You'll have ideas on ways that you can add bookings to your calendar, and they just start popping into your head. Go ahead and follow through. If you are like, oh, I'm going to post that, post it right away. You're going to get a surge of energy and willingness to do whatever it takes to get these bookings on your calendar. You're going to be laser focused, and it feels like nothing can possibly stand in your way. And fear, it's no longer an option. You don't let fear bother you. You push through all your adversities, and lastly, you are so excited. And as a result, everything becomes much easier, and your results get better and better and better. So right now, I want you to get a piece of paper. Oh, wait. So right now, I want you to get a piece of paper and jot down 3 reasons why you want a full calendar. Why do you want to have 4 shows a week? Oh, this is so weird. Can you guys still hear me?
Yes.
Okay, and you can still see the screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right. So did you get those written down?
Hey, Rocky, I got a question.
Okay.
When should be our goal to fill up the month? Because I guess what I'm afraid of is, say, the parties I got going on the first week of August do I really want to get people out of that party for the last week of August, or do I want to try to feed them into September and so on and so forth? Because if they just bought stuff or things in that nature, do I want them to maybe host the same month that they bought something, or do I want to kind of push them out?
You want
You know what I'm
4
saying?
shows a week. So I always try
Right.
to fill when there's an open spot.
But
And
like if I had a party this week and I got an open spot for next week, I don't want to try to shove somebody from this week's party into next week's, right? I kind of want to feed them out, or how would you do that?
I book them whenever I have a hole. So everybody has different friends, different acquaintances. And if you're asking me
Right.
if I only have 3 parties next week and they're ready to party and they are willing to host next week, I'm putting them next week.
I think that's the key, is when they're willing to host the party. Some of my people they're not ready to book a party immediately. They want to wait till September. They want to wait till October. I have lots of people that have other parties. I have a lady in my group, one of my parties right now. She's got 4 Pampered Chef parties this year already, and I am not one of them. So, it is when they want. And if they want to do it now, great.
Yeah. Okay, so do you got your stuff written down? Your reasons why you want to have, okay. So now that you've written down 3 reasons why you want to have a full calendar, now I want to encourage you to write down some barriers. What do you think is holding you back from booking more parties? Be honest. Are you afraid? Are you afraid of sounding pushy? Are you afraid to reach out and ask people? Maybe because of what they might think. Maybe you think you're bugging them, but write those barriers down. All right, and now I want you to rip that paper up. I want you to rip it up in tiny little pieces and stomp on it too, because they're no longer gonna hinder you. We are done with those lies and forbid them to be an excuse for why you aren't reaching out for booking. As we go through this, I encourage you to listen with 2 sets of ears. Listen for things that you can immediately put into practice that will help you help your show schedule. And then also think about how you can transfer this information to your growing team. There's a process to getting bookings, but keep in mind it's just a numbers game. Everything in this business is a numbers game. The people that have more bookings and more recruits have simply asked more people. And don't take anything personal. So the booking process is actually really straightforward. You are going to meet people. You're going to share with them what's in it for them when they book a show. You're going to offer them the opportunity to schedule a party with you, and then you're going to set a date. So back to James' question, you're going to share what's in it for them. And if they want to take advantage of that and you have a space open, you go ahead and book their show. Sometimes this happens all in one conversation, and other times it's based on building a relationship with customers over time. Remember, you're not always going to have instant gratification. We have to be persistent and have patience and be consistent in the process. So you may be wondering, how many people do I need to ask to generate a booking? For every 10 people you ask, 6 are not going to respond, 2 will say yes, and 2 will say no. And that's on average. 1 in about every 5 people you ask will book a party with you. So to book 8 parties, you need to ask 40 people. To book 16 parties, you need to ask 80 people. And that sounds like a lot, right? But remember what I said about planning. What if you planned to make 10 contacts a day for 4 days, or 20 contacts a day for 4 days? Does that seem more doable? But look at how many you still have potential with if 6 of those 10 aren't going to respond. You can follow up after. So you still have a lot of potential with those that didn't get back to you. So booking outside the show, if you aren't in a show doing your regular booking thing in the show, there are, we call them the Big Mac calls, the morning after calls. So the morning after they place the order, you could check with them. Hey, I see you ordered such, and thank you for your order. I see you ordered whatever it is, and then offer, have you thought about hosting a show to get XYZ? So maybe they ordered a blender. Have you thought about hosting a show to get the smoothie cup? Or they ordered a stone. Have you thought about hosting a show to get the rest of the collection? Or the same with cookware or a knife or anything like that. Out of the blue calls. You know, hey, I thought of you because you're always on Facebook, and I just started Pampered Chef. Would you like to host a show? Hand out catalogs. Our new mini catalogs are coming out right now, and I know we're not seeing a lot of people, but you could say, hey, I got my new catalogs in, you know, and I'm sending these out. And then keep track. So maybe you thought, oh, and keep track of everybody. So how many of you have been on my new consultant training call? Let me see, just raise your hand. Margaret, Courtney, me, and I think you were, James. All right, so I'm gonna go, oh, Sylvia says she was too. I'm gonna go over this again because it's super important. And if you haven't started doing this as a normal practice in your business, you definitely want to do that starting with this program. So when you do your 10 contacts a day, the fortune really is in the follow-up. So those 6 people that I said aren't going to respond to you, it's not always what you think it is. Like, oh my gosh, they are mad at me. They don't want to do it. One of 3 things is happening. Either they got busy. So let's say they were driving, they're at a stoplight, they seen your message come through, they looked at it, the light turned green, and they went on their way, did their shopping, whatever, got home, groceries, dinner, all of that, and they just forgot to reply. Or they seen your message, they read it, and they weren't quite ready to say yes, but they weren't quite ready to say no. Or they seen your message, they don't want to host a party, and they're just too chicken to tell you. So a lot of times you think when you send those messages that, oh, I'm going to wait about a week and then I'm going to follow up. But if it happens to be that they're one of the first 2, they either got busy or they're not ready to say yes, but they're not ready to say no, you want to strike while the iron's hot. So you want to follow up the very next day. It shows that you're serious about your business. And if they are on the verge of saying yes, if they hear from you again right away, you're that much more likely to book that party. So we follow up the very next day. And then we start to spread it out. So follow up with those 6 people. And then you're probably not going to hear from maybe 3 or 4 more. But now you wait 2 days from that follow-up, and you follow up again. And you're probably not going to hear from 1 or 2 more. And now you wait 3 days from that date, give them a little more time, follow up. And usually right about then, they answer and they're like, sure, I'll have a party. Okay, when do you need it? Or stuff like that, that you're just surprised, like, oh my gosh, you know, why didn't you say that in the first place? And then the last time, you wait 4 days later, and then you just say, are you okay? Because these are your friends, and you're wondering, hey, and you'll always hear from them then, and they'll either tell you, no, I am terrible, things have just been crappy, or they'll say, yes, I'm sorry, just been so busy, you know, I'm trying to teach my kids at school at home and all this stuff. So you'll usually hear from them then, and I'm going to post that tracker. No, there's no slide, Sylvia. I'm going to go ahead and post that tracker in the Rockstar group, and it has the words to use on each one of those follow-ups. So it's very simple verbiage to use, and it gives you where you can plug in what their response was, when's the next time you need to contact them, and keep everything all in order. So the other thing you'll want to do if you're not doing it right now is how many, so that's booking outside your show. But now let's talk about bookings at your show. How many of you are doing, having your host help you get bookings and doing the host booking challenge? Okay, hold on, let me make my